finally going to be talking about our budget and how I track our money. I promised to do this video a few weeks back and I've just been putting it off because I wasn't happy with the spreadsheets that we had. So in the last couple of weeks I have been finding new templates and whatever to use, and I finally found two that I'm really happy with, so I am going to share them with you. I did download these spreadsheets for free from this website. It's the most popular one. Like when you're looking for a spreadsheet that like does a certain purpose, I think it's usually the either first or second website that pops up. But I've got two. So I've got one that is basically just like an overview of our budget so that I can look at it if I need to. I can show you. It's just a really simple breakdown. And the second spreadsheet is a money tracking one. So it tracks expenses and income, and the one I have also tracks like where your bank balance is sitting at. There's a couple of things I want to note. If you don't know, my partner Brett and I are currently living on the road. We're traveling around Australia. We are working, but I don't include our income into our budget because it is so sporadic. Like I earn a little bit every week, and then at the moment we're in Canberra and Brett's working and earning a lot every week, but then as soon as we leave we'll have no income. So I don't include our income into any part of our budget. It just goes straight back into our savings. And the other thing kind of to do with that is that what I'm showing you on the spreadsheets for how much money we have in the bank isn't accurate, and that is because I'm like a bank queen. Like I have that many accounts. I've separated our money a bit, so I know that we've got like rainy day funds and funds if we need to randomly have a massive expense or something like that. So this is just like our main savings account, and yes, that is all we have. Alright, with all of those disclaimers out of the way, let's get started with our budget. Alright, so as you can see on the screen is our monthly budget. Now, I find this really hard because basically all our bills are monthly, but then like our living expenses are weekly. So what I've done, I just find it easier to put it in like a monthly thing, especially to show you guys, and then I know what our weekly spending is because you just divide it by 4. So up the top here you can see that there's a total of expenses. So for our total monthly expenses it costs us $2,234. But then over here it gives you a breakdown, and I've set it up to show you the percentage of the expenses and where it's going. So at the moment our accommodation is completely different to what I'm showing you because we are staying in Canberra working, so we need to be in Canberra and there's no free camps, so we have to pay for a caravan park all the time. What I'm showing you here is for when we're on the road and we only stay in a caravan park one night a week. Okay, so bills, you can see we spend $874. Living expenses, which is groceries and fuel, is $800. Accommodation $160, and our pocket money, which is like our extra spending money, is $400 out of the month. And it also has this cute little wheel over here. But anyway, so yeah, and then it just says what is my expenses down the bottom. Fuel, groceries, accommodation, and then all of our bills are there. I don't like just putting bills under one heading because like bills could mean anything, so I do break it down. So we've got Brett's loan, Brett's phone, my phone, our car insurance, Brett pays for YouTube Premium, and we have a storage unit in Tassie that I'm sharing with my parents. And then our pocket money at the bottom, which is our little $400. So that is it. That's a breakdown of our monthly budget. So yeah, that is our current budget as we stand. So to live a month in our life, it costs just over $2,200. Alright, so moving on to how I track our expenses. So there's two ways, like I said. The first one is in a spreadsheet, and that is for our total monthly expenses, and the second one is an app. So getting started with the spreadsheet, again, it's from the same website, and this one just tracks our income and our expenses. So at the moment we just started April, so there's nothing really, there's not a lot in there, but there is some things that I spent today which I need to add in, so I can do that now. So because our budget is categorized, that follows through with all of our tracking of expenses, obviously just because it makes everything super clean. This spreadsheet had the option of banks and stuff, which is good because like I said, I have multiple bank accounts, but there's two main ones that we use. We have our savings account and then we have our everyday joint account. Sorry about that really loud truck, very rude. Actually, it was a tractor. But anyway, so on this spreadsheet you've got account, which is the bank, you've got the date of the transaction, description, the category, money in, money out, and the overall bank balance. So I put our bank balance in as the start of April at $7,700, and then every time I put something in the money out column, it takes it out and gives you a new total at the end there. So this is the only place that I actually record our income. Like I said, it's so sporadic that we're not even considering it. It basically just means when we earn a certain amount, it just means an extra week on the road. I think it's about $600. Every time we earn $600, we're like, cool, that's an extra week on the road that we've added to our trip, essentially. What I do is a couple of times a month, I'll go through our banks and I'll just punch every single expense in here. Now that could be seen as a way too over the top or whatever, but it's just the easiest way for me to do it, and that way it makes it so much easier. So I can just probably like in the middle and then at the end of the month I will just go through and punch everything in. In an ideal world I'll be doing it week by week, but who wants to do that? So what I'm going to do now is just add in the expenses I spent today, and then I'll show you what the spreadsheet can do. Okay, so this morning was a bit of a spendy morning, but we'll just ignore that. So as you can see down the overall balance side, yeah, it just totals it down. Like every time you add in something, it takes it down to what it actually is now. Sort of, like I said, it's just an approximate. Now, I love spreadsheets and I love mucking around with them, but I'm no expert, which is why I wanted to download these templates instead, because I love spreadsheets and I can do enough to do what I personally want to do sometimes and for my job, but apart from that, I'm no expert. So that's why I really love these templates, because you can just download them and they do everything that you want them to, and if they don't, you can just like alter them a little bit. Now in the category, what I can do is I can filter it and say, all right, well, how much have we spent on everything which is extra, and then it gives you the total there, which is $50.80, which is so annoying. But that's just how much I've had to spend. I say had to, most of it's wants. So yeah, that is how I track our expenses. So like I said, a couple times a month, I'll go through our banks and I will just update this. And that is how I track our overall monthly expenses. All right, so now moving on to the last thing that I do, which is how I record my day-to-day expenses, so that I don't have to go onto this spreadsheet every single time, because that would be so annoying. And it was so annoying before I got this app. The app I use, I'm pretty sure, is free, and I'll be honest, it's probably not the best app, but it does exactly what I need it to do. And that's all I need. I could just record this in my phone, but this app kind of just does the formulas for me. This whole video is just how to budget if you're lazy, basically. It's called Good Budget, and it's like a little envelope, because that's how the whole thing works. It puts money in envelopes every single week, or you can set it up to do fortnightly, monthly, whatever. And yeah, so you open it up and it takes you straight to your envelopes. Now, so I've got it set up that every week it auto refills these to what is on our budget. See, it all ties in together. So the groceries will auto refill to $50 a week, the fuel to $150 a week. The accommodation is a bit tricky, like I said, because normally it'd be $40 a week, but at the moment we're spending $245 to $300 a week. Oh, it makes me cringe. And then our pocket money is $100 a week. I don't record bills in here because, like I said, this is just for our weekly living expenses, which is, you know, groceries, fuel, accommodation, and our pocket money. That's it. Bills I only record on that spreadsheet. All right, so it's so simple. All you do is you press the little writing thing up here, and then who received the payment. Let's go, we're just gonna say YouTube video. And we're going to go done. And then how much did we spend? We spent $3.50. Oh, which envelope do we want to take it out of? We want to take it out of our pocket money. And then you have this option down here to schedule it and whatever, but I don't do that. You can just add a little note and then you press save, and it automatically, you can see that it just drops that bar a little bit, which is awesome. You can see our groceries is in the minus, and it gives you a little rundown over here of how much you've got left, which is why I loved this app, because it's what I wanted to do. Because I always, when we're on the road, we're very strict, and it's like, how much of our pocket money do we have left? Can we afford this? And it used to just be in my head, I'll be like, I think so. But with this, I can just open it and be like, yep, we've got $30.20 left. we're good to go, or no fucking way. But because we are in the city, we haven't had to top up for fuel for the last 3 weeks, so we're using our fuel budget as kind of like a little bit of a, you know, extra pocket money little bit. So the fact that we've gone over groceries by $10, I'm not phased. So down the bottom you've actually got envelopes, transactions, accounts, reports, and more. I don't use accounts or reports, but I definitely use envelopes, and occasionally I will go into transactions because this is another way that I can fill in that expense tracking spreadsheet, is just by going through it on here. And that's the app I use. I absolutely love it. You can, like I said, it took me a while to play around with it and figured out what I needed it to do and how to get it to do that, but it's actually like a website, and I think there's actually a computer program you can get as well. So there's a lot of helpful tips online on how to use it and how to get it to do what you want it to do. So yeah, that is our budget and how I track all of our expenses. It's very simple, very basic, but it's important to me and to us to know what we're spending, where we're spending it, and if there's ways we can cut it down, or if we need to change something, if we need to sell something, you know, that kind of thing. And something else I'll just add quickly at the end here. So something I did before we left is I took how much money we had in our savings and like did the weekly budget of how much, you know, I knew we'd be spending, and you just divide your savings by that figure, and whatever it tells you is how many weeks you can go on the road. So that's how simple it is to figure out. And like I said, I know that about $600 is an extra week on the road for us. So it's less than that, but I just say 600 just to make things smicko. Obviously things are going to come up, like when we need to pay rego. Brett's got to get his car service soon, so that's going to be a lot of money, but the fact that we're working right now can help pay for that. And you know, if we've got to take money out of our savings to pay for that, which we will sometimes, then you know what, you got to do what you got to do. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please get a thumbs up and let me know down below if you want to see any more money related videos, because it's something I actually am really passionate about, like saving money and budgeting and saving money where I can and being pretty thrifty, obviously. But it's not something that I talk about a lot because I don't know how interesting people find it. Like, I could talk about it for days, but I know that's probably a bit weird. So yeah, if you want to check out my Instagram, it's at beceldrup, and I'll see you guys in the next one.